Good morning, everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript Party. It is 8:26 a.m., so that means I have about 30 minutes to do some coding, or 8:25 a.m. It's 29 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It did not feel that cold. I went out, took food out to the feral cats. I would say this is the best I felt in a couple weeks. I felt pretty good yesterday, though. Like this whole week, I felt okay. Um, Last week I was sick. I was so sick. I just didn't realize it. Oh man, did I start this? Yep. Okay. So we are running. We go ahead and run our test, npm run test. No ret today. Tomorrow, hopefully, if I have the energy, I'll go get ret. Today, my son and daughter-in-law, they just came back from a, sounds like an absolutely wonderful little trip to Vail, Colorado, I believe it's called. And I think they did a little bit of like snow sports. I don't think they went skiing. I think they went snowshoeing or something like that. And the dogs were here, her dogs were here, and their baby was here. My granddaughter, little Ella, um, starting on Tuesday. So today's Friday. So we had her Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. That was last night, and then tonight. Um, or not tonight. Tonight they're going to come pick her up. Okay, so if I remember correctly, we got all the unit tests passing, and when I had started working on this, I was fully optimized to 100% unit testing, and that was it. I have since sort of modified my view of that, and I am now trying to um, before I do my unit tests, I try to I mean, now I've kind of the idea is that I've set aside time specifically for obsessing about lines of code because I just can't do that while I'm trying to get stuff working, right? There's the get stuff working mindset, and then there's the lines of code mindset. Um, so it's kind of interesting to look at this. So uh, we we have massive code coverage, but I want to get 100% code coverage, and then I also want to make sure that that I every single line that I have written, I makes sense to me. Um, so let's just do sort of a high level analysis of the current code coverage situation. Oh, I cannot get that thing to get bigger. Okay, there we go. All right, so branches everywhere we have branches covered except for in this positioning utilities service. Um, I believe it is in, I think actually this is a class. I don't think this is a service. Um, but and then the concept of classes and instead of services and stuff like that, that all came in this effort that I'm in right now. Before I would always just sort of create a service. Yeah, I would come with a concept that I needed to build a stuff around, build ideas and stuff around, and then I would build out a service and make it a for root, and that was it. Never thought about it. Um, and this effort, I got to where I'm like, you know what? I don't necessarily think I want, unless I have like a state that I'm trying to project across the application. I don't think I want it to be a for root service. And this is a whole new thing, but it looks like we don't, branches is like historically, if I see that I'm missing branches, it probably means that I need to make more functions. So there's a concept that ChatGPT sort of shared with me called functions over branches. And that's the idea that every one of these branches, instead of being a branch, could be a function that you call that returns a true or false or something. And then um, and then you don't have to um, necessarily, or it could be, yeah, like a function that, hey, if it's this, then I'm going to go ahead and do this. So then you have that function. I don't know. It'll probably make more sense as we go. So inside of this positioning, there's there's one class and one service. So I believe the kind of, and this is new too, the idea is if it's a service, then it's going to have this injectable provided in, well, probably this injectable in it, not necessarily provided in root. But for me, thus far, they've all been provided in root, which then means you can use the injector to get a individual singleton. And a singleton is like a shared class that they all share and they can all see and all that. Whereas in this other example here, layout class, there is no for root. So this only is um, a this is only if um, what am I trying to say? Um, this is only minted out as you create a new class. It's not a shared service that can affect anything else. Everything is limited. All right, so that's so interesting. We get to this thing 121 times. We get here 6 times, and the viz count is always 0. And then in here. All right, so basically what we need to do is start breaking these classes out into functions. So like um, this could just be a straight call to a function, and then and then um, then that function. I guess I don't know. This is a tricky one. So yeah, I never really thought about this. I was like, oh, it's unlimited ammo because I have this I could just generate, I could just pass in services and that's never a problem. And now in unit tests, this is a little trickier. So it looks like I need to create a visualization and a component service and then um, pass it in and then pass that to this update visualization layout. I imagine I don't even have a unit test that calls this. So I need to create a unit test that calls this and passes in a viz count, a visualization service, and a component service, and just see what we get. I feel like I understand what this is doing. Let me just double check that because this is the time that I have effects set aside for obsessing about lines of code. So basically, it takes in a viz count and just returns the viz count. Whatever. A lot of times I do that just so that um, it'll be easier to unit test. So I can pass in one and get one back. Um, if that does happen, then this branch will be satisfied. But I have to create a visualization service and a component service. Now, in this context, in the context of the application, the visualization service and the viz component service are like singleton classes or objects that are shared across the application. But this is unit testing, so this is only about this unit, so it doesn't matter how that it's actually better if this visualization service and component service are just regular classes, which there's no reason like any I believe any service can be turned into just a regular class too. I used to use that trick a lot in one of my previous jobs where we would have to like they could zoom in and show like you had a component on the screen, which was one of many components, but then you could zoom in on an individual component. And the thing was like you didn't want the one that was zoomed in on to actually interact with the one that was not zoomed in on. So then I would make these classes not for root, or I would give it new classes that weren't for root. Anyways, update visualization layout. So we want to go to this viz component layout class.ts. So I don't know. I wish there was like a good, easy way to just copy this name here, because this is what we want. Tell you what I want, what I really, really want. And there we go. So this is where we want to be. I just want to, it's so weird. I guess that's this guy here. So I'm just going to close everything else. Close others, and then just sort of, um, I think if you close this here, and then you double click on this, or maybe you go here and then back to here. Yeah, it'll open everything up and so that you can see. Okay, so this spec, see, all it does is create the class and just says, hey, is it truthy? Um, this is weird though. I feel like there's usually, can I just do this? Oh, this doesn't even actually, oh, new viz component class. We created one. All right, so in this test, we create a viz component class. So let's just go ahead and do that. Just uh, uh, right. So then we just do that, and then I'm just gonna change this just so we have this as sort of a reference. Because as once we start getting deep into this stuff, it's gonna be a little harder to think. Control V, and if I hit save, and then I think. Now I believe I can also, okay, let's do this F describe so that this is the only one to get executed. It looks like it ignored my F describe. Let's go over here. Let's hit reload. What we're looking for is not as many of these things to be. Yeah, so only one function, one got called. And so now if we come over here, so this is what we ended up happening. So, because none of this gets called from this um, layout class. Okay, so I think we could also do this and we'll just have them all share a class. Viz component class. I don't know if this is what we want to do, but I just like it'll never be easier to tell if this works or not. Looks like that worked. Let's reload. Okay, so now we want to call update visualization layout, but it needs a visualization service and a viz component service. So I believe I can do this. Const. And I don't know this for sure, but I think this is, I think we can do this. And if this is like sort of an opportunity to lock in some knowledge. So that's that, and it's equal to new. And then I think, there we go. Okay, so now we've created a new visualization service. It's just a service. That's all it is. It's just a class. Um, and then what's our other one? It's component service. And I don't know. At this point, I don't know if Viz component service can just be created or if it has to, if it accepts something. I don't think it accepts anything. I've never really done that. Like, I very rarely do that where um, in the constructor, I have things for arguments. And then, all right, so that looks good. So now it should, we're looking for update visualization layout. And there's this like kind of like this mix, right? Like, do you want, like, how deep do you want to understand it? I do want to understand what this does. So it's saying, hey, if the viz count that gets passed in is greater, then execute this visualization layout. If it's greater than 0, but if it's not, then don't. Um, that's it. That's all this does. Do I need to go in and understand what this does? No, not at this point. I just need to understand what this whole unit does. And I'm just thinking out loud right now. Like I don't know. It should update the visualization layout. And I'm just like doing stuff that like I would love to do at work, right? Like I just don't know if it would work. Um, you know what I mean? Like it seems like a good idea, but like things that seem like good ideas more often than not don't actually end up being a good idea when you have to actually make it happen. Like when you can just sit around and like imagine stuff, then things work out pretty well. But so let's see, let count is equal to 1. I guess I should call it viz count. And then count is equal to viz component class dot update visualization layout. It's kind of nice having this name up here, so then when that pops up, I can see it. And then we're gonna, and this is viz count, not. And then we're gonna pass it a viz count. Let's just do this. Let's make this const. And this is const viz count result. And then this guy is going to take a viz count, and I believe it takes our visualization service, and then it takes our viz component service. I feel like if this like runs without any sort of error, like you just pass it the stuff and it just does its own thing, then that's probably a good sign. I don't know that for sure. Viz count to equal viz count result. Hit save. So funny, I guess, yeah, zeros. It got all zeros. I don't know if it ran or not. It doesn't look like it ran. Oh, it tried. Let's be called. So it couldn't. Um, so apparently something within one of the two
things. So let me just do this. Let's just make sure that I don't think anything broke in the, oh, wait, it's the wrong one. Oh, I want this one and this one. I don't think anything broke inside of like the creating of the viz components and stuff. I guess I'm looking at the wrong one. Oh, maybe it did break. Let's see, maybe it could not do this. Then I think this is where like mocking comes in. Okay, yeah, so looks like it passed this time. So, but if let's just get rid of this one here. Let's just see if this is. I believe Jasmine has the ability to mock. Okay, so this one died. Okay, so let's see if the other one dies. Because we see the red back there, so we see that it died. Okay, so that one did not die. So creating this visualization service is an issue. But I think that I can use Jasmine to mock this visualization service. Okay. So let's go ahead and just ask ChatGPT if it knows how to do this. I swear ChatGPT is just like the absolute biggest help towards software development that I've ever seen. But it definitely does not do what people think it does, or what organizations are trying to sell that it does. Um, so here's the deal. Okay, so Jasmine Karma, I have this line of code and it is failing because, needs to do stuff. Is there a good way to mock the class? The visualization service class. Misspelled something. Okay, so yeah, that's what I want. Okay, so it says that I could do this, but then I guess maybe I have to actually specify what functions I want available. So this is new for me. Oops. Okay, so this guy is my problem child. And it's saying I want to do this. Wait. Visualization component service spy. Oh, okay. Then I guess I don't know. I think I want to make that a const. I don't know though. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it doesn't like that. Let. Okay. So visualization spy does not exist. It's like this doesn't. Okay, all I did was declare its existence. Okay, so now I believe this before each.
I don't think I need this piece though. This test bed thing. We'll see though. So this is a function that's going to run before each one of the its, and I don't think I need this. Now this is going to create two methods. I don't think I use any of those methods. I mean, I don't use method one and method two. They don't even exist. So I just want to see if this will now compile or now pass without failing. Feels like nothing happened. I don't know why I keep going to this one. Okay, this is the one. Oh, okay, something did happen. Reload. Oh, no, okay, so just didn't reload it. Okay, so was happy with that. It doesn't do anything though. So viz count result is equal to spy. Let's see what happens. Spy. So we're hoping for successes. Nope. Okay, so it looks like get visualizations is something that we want to mock, and I don't think it's going to let it be happy. So I'm in completely, just to be clear, I've never done anything like this before. Or if I have done it, I think I may have done it in certain jobs, but like it was just like one of those things where you just get it working and move on with your life. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, cannot read properties of undefined for each. So it's trying to utilities positioning line 36. It's trying to do something. Okay. So it's coming in here. It's going to line 36. Okay, get visualizations needs to, because so it's getting called, so that's good. But the problem is when this gets called, it doesn't have anything. So get visualizations does exist, but it doesn't return. Let's go back here. This is fun. 853. So yeah. So get visualizations exists, but it wants it to return. I want it to return an empty string. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the method two, and I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. So I'm telling you, I could have done this before ChatGPT. It would take so much longer. Like it's just not even close. Okay. Okay. So like this would just take a lot longer. Okay, so this is want to get visualizations to return an empty array. Okay, so I guess this is it. No? Oh, wait. Well, that's neat. See if this makes sense. See, I've had to work with things like this before and never got to do them like this, where it was just like a nice clean um, okay, so now they're all passing. So where it was just like where I got to learn step by step by, oh, this is what I'm um, trying to do. So basically, I've created this. I'm told it that this function, I guess I gave it this function to return, and now we're good. I wonder if this passes now. This is cool. It's kind of neat, like when you work on something all the time, but you didn't really understand it, and then you kind of get to understand it because you went step by step as opposed to like just getting thrown in the deep end. So theoretically, I should have more coverage now. I think this should get called because count is greater than 0. And even some of this should get called too. So let's see what we get here. 37.5. All right, so we made pretty good progress. I don't know if we actually made any progress on the overall issue because I feel like this was getting called anyways. Um, but next, it looks like we were going to want to. So we have this one taken care of. So tomorrow, we'll work on this one or possibly this one. This one might be easier. Um, it's kind of neat though. It's kind of neat, like learning about this. Because I have to admit, anytime I've ever had to do this in the past, and I have had to do this in the past, it's just been I've been so deep in trying to get the code ready for demo that I never really got to sit down and just contemplate what's happening here. And I've really never gotten to write these tests in the concept of um, like not as an injectable as just like a class. I don't know what to call it because static has, I mean, I keep wanting to say static class, but just as a class with a stateless class, I guess is maybe the it's like there's, I don't know if there's a word for not singleton, but anyways, it is 8:57, so I have to start work in 3 minutes. I hope everyone has a wonderful Friday. Happy coding. Bye.